Teens Time with Chichi. My name is Auntie Chichi. This is the show where we get to talk about everything teenagers, young adults, and also parents. Parents are not left out. We talk everything, to inspire our teenagers, to entertain them, to help them become better, and also to promote and to educate. And today's show is all about educating us on some things on a topic that a lot of people shy away from, or they don't even know it exists. Today, we are going to do justice to that. I don't want you to change that. We'll be right back. Sit tight. Thank you for still sticking around. This is Teens Time. And like I said, today's show is going to educate us. We are talking about dyslexia. I know we've talked about inclusive living, previously on this show, but I want us to bring it down home. When we talk about learning disorders, when we talk about some developmental disorders, I got messages from people asking me what does it mean. So I decided today, let's bring one and break it down. So we are talking about dyslexia, what it is, how do people that are living with it, how do they cope, how does it, what's the word? How does it manifest? So I want us to, people that are living with it, they don't even look it. It's not like, the Down syndrome or people with cerebral palsy or whatever, but you have it, but, and then people mock you because you're not getting results in certain things. But today's show is all about exposing us to this thing, and then it will help you to know how to channel your energy into what will bring the best of you. That's what this show is about. And we have Deji here, the man on glasses. How are you doing? No. Good to have you here. Promise, how are you doing?
Fine, thank you, Ma.
Good to have you. And I know you guys are ready to learn.
Yes,
we're ready to learn. And I know you've been doing your research to know what it means. So we have Simeon. Yeah. He is a pageant king. That's what you guys call it. Yeah. He's the Mr. University Africa Continental. Yep. Did I get that? Yes, so Mr. University Africa Continental. And can you tell me a little bit about the pageant?
Yeah, the pageant is focused on youth and students across Africa.
Okay, so guys in the university.
Yeah.
It's more like trying to promote education or what?
Yeah, promote education, then the One Africa initiative.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. I think it's noble, so that a lot of our boys will look, I've been talking about that. A lot of our boys don't have role models. And I hope the pageant is tinted towards you guys standing up to be role models to younger ones.
Yeah, to the younger ones, and even to our mates too.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. So, Dyslexia.
Oh, okay.
Is your pet project?
Yeah, it's my pet project.
Okay, tell me why. Why are you...
Should I say I'm a victim or I suffered from it?
Okay.
Or I'm still suffering?
Survivor.
Oh, I survived. Okay.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah, so it's been challenging because I'm a Yoruba boy.
Okay.
And from Yoruba land, they see it as basically spiritual.
Okay. So can you first of all break it down? What does it mean to be dyslexic?
Okay, to be dyslexic is like ability not to be able to read and write, so to say.
I mean, you are going to school, but you can't really...
You can't really, assimilation and the likes. You have difficulty in that.
Okay.
That's the layman English.
English, okay. Yeah. So you have, is a form of learning disorder?
Yeah, disorder. Yeah.
Okay, so you struggle to, when they are teaching, you struggle to learn.
To assimilate, to take it in. So you take your time outside everybody.
To be able to learn it on your own. Okay,
yes,
okay.
Back in school, let me say secondary school, I didn't know the meaning. I didn't even know the word or any word. So being dyslexic, it's an ability not to be able to read and write like
properly.
Okay. You have,
so you are in class, and they're teaching. You can't grab.
You can't. Not that you can't grab 100%.
Okay. And you can't read properly.
You can't. It's not that you can't read properly, but maybe getting words. Some people, you might say a word for the first time, and you might just be able to pronounce punctuations and the likes. But you have problem mixing maybe with French or mixing with your native language, like that. So, like a lot of things.
Okay, it's not that you are thinking in your native language.
No, it's not that I think.
Some people think in their native language.
A lot of things going through your brain, and you just can't be able to focus and differentiate.
Okay.
So that's one of the basic. Yeah, and now personally, when I noticed it so much in me when I was... Okay, now thinking about it, I noticed that I had it when I was secondary school.
Okay.
But back then, I didn't know anything like that. existed. All I do was just pray. I'm not saying it's bad to pray, but it's just like pray, 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 and it's like there's no particular prayer point where I just imagining, okay, God, let me be able to read, let me be able to read. But it's not just, I won't say it's not working out, but we're just fighting. So when I got to the university, I was able to understand that it's not actually, I'm not an outcast.
It's not that you don't want to learn.
It's
You're not Olodo.
Yeah, so to say.
Let me use the word.
Yeah.
But people made you feel like you're Olodo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And thanks to this, there's this textbook, not a textbook, like it's a brand. They make books like they would, like for example, English for Dummies.
Okay.
Physics for Dummies. When I set my eyes across that, I was able to. It helped me.
Okay.
Like, that way.
Okay.
Yes,
I mean, you initially talked about people, like being a Yoruba boy, and then people.
Oh, okay.
So
I
want to hear that story.
About that, it's like this in Yoruba land. When something happens to you, they either feel it's from your forefathers, or maybe it's
people from your village.
People from your village, or one woman you poured beans away in the market, So that was what was in me, and that was how I kept on praying and praying and praying and praying and praying. But now I understand, it's not that I'm not praying, but I understand it's not that. So my prayer points have
changed.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So you channel it better to be more strategic with your prayers.
Yes, ma'am.
But how did your parents feel? Like knowing that you were struggling and all that.
My parents are Yoruba, so I can say they were part of the.
They were part of the problem.
Particularly my mom. My mom was not that she was hard, but because that's how she was being brought up. So she was like Lodonia, not directly, but thinking about it, and that was what he was talking about. But my dad's good abroad, so he was able to see that it's not like this. It's like this. Or even if education, so to say, is not your line. There are other things you can do.
I have seen people say, maybe it's not working. Just go and sell pure water. Go and do one mechanic job.
So but my dad really helped me with that. But my mom is, just do this. If you can't do it, figure it out. But my dad will help me, help me assimilate, talk to me. Okay, what other things do you want to do? Is it the practical part? Like, for example, I wanted to do engineering.
Okay.
But when I couldn't get into, it was part of the dyslexia stuff. When I couldn't get into school, because I had 198 instead of 200, I had to go to a school that would accept me. So I did pure physics. So fighting that with my, with my mom.
Yeah.
Again, my dad was really talked to me like, okay, you want to go to the practical part. Okay, do engineering.
Okay.
Even if you can't get it in school, you can
work
at a roadside mechanic while you are going to school. That's what my dad told me, for me to understand.
Not to make you, he wasn't saying it just to reduce you.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was trying to uplift me.
Okay.
But my mom was like, okay, what is physics? If you can't say word for word, you don't know anything. that was just the basics.
But at what point did you know that you had dyslexia?
I know,
yeah.
Looking out the car.
You
don't have what to pronounce it.
It was very late because it really affected me in university. I had a lot of setbacks in university. What's it called? Spillovers.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was a setback for me, and that was when I was.
And it wasn't like you were playing, you were flexing too much. That's why you were failing.
No, I was a church boy when I was in school. Okay. More of a church boy than I look now. Because it's not about the flexing or it was even during the the spillover period that I was able to see another version of myself, and I would say this version, because that time I was just church, home. I think the first party I went to in school was when I was in 400 level. Wow. They didn't have a department on philosophy.
So
that was
you
the first
were
time
really churchy, and
I was really churchy.
But still, you were failing. And it didn't mean that, you were not praying more.
No,
it's just that you didn't understand that you had an issue.
Yeah.
That, yes, it's good to pray, but you also need to be very strategic
with your prayers.
Yes, okay.
Yes,
okay. So,
how did you know that you had that stuff?
Okay. When I was, as I was saying, it was during my spillover period. You see, when issues happen to someone or to humans, you tend to think in another scope. Okay, I was a spillover student. My mates were out of school. I had difficulty interacting with the younger ones, the junior ones, younger ones. And I had to sit down, okay, what's up with me? what do I want to do? So I did a lot of things, you know. So then read a lot of books that, okay, there was time I wanted to, my dad did criminology, and there was time I wanted to, like, Daddy, should I swap to criminology? I started reading criminology. There was time I was reading about philosophy.
Yeah.
You get, so that widened my scope. You get, so I was able to understand that it's not that I don't want to read, or it's not that I don't know how
To read.
It's just how I was channeled to be, sorry.
Okay.
And during that period, that was when I knew major, like, oh, I'm very, very slow at learning.
Okay. Do you guys have more questions?
So, do you have to read at a particular time of the day or in a particular position for you to understand what you're reading when you're reading?
No. That's for genius.
Okay.
You don't know, something you don't know how to, you can't say you have a particular position on how to. You just don't know how to. So it's more like a mood swing.
Okay.
So that mood will just come. And okay, there was a time I was learning the guitar. I've stopped. And I remember the best time I played was when my mom talked to me and I was crying and I went into the rain and I was playing the guitar in the rain. And today that's the height of my playing time.
Wow.
You get, so it was just, most stuff is like a mood. It's not that you know how to or when to. Just come. At times I go for night class, I'm shouting, I'm playing with girls, disturbing the whole class. Even in church, disturb my executives, everybody. It was just, okay, there was this, what's it called?
So it doesn't make you like act weird.
Yeah, I'm very weird. very weird.
Are you saying he's dyslexic?
No, it's even confirmed.
I'm not dyslexic.
Okay, we will come back. Let's go on a short break. When we come back, we'll continue. Don't change that down. Thank you for still being there for us. We are talking about dyslexia. I know a lot of us, most times we say it's a spiritual thing, and I'm a spiritual person, but I also believe that there are things that when you bring the spiritual part, you also balance it with the practical part. Let me put it that way. If you're praying, God help me to assimilate. I have this passage I always read. The memory of the righteous is blessed and blah, blah, blah. But you need to be able to understand if you have a bit of a learning issue. So dyslexia is what we are talking about, and we are trying to make a lot of the young people out there who are struggling. I know people that they are depressed. They are saying, Auntie Chichi, I've tried everything. It's not entering. It's not working. So I had a classmate in school. She will read and read. At some point, she told herself, this thing is not her thing. That let her go and be selling clothes. And she ended up selling clothes in school. She will go to a market, known market, and buy clothes and come and say, read, then explain it to me. So I was actually doing that for her. So I will break it down, explain, then help her do her homework. But I will tell her during exam, I will not show you. So during exam, I'm so bad. I'm part of those people that will cover their books. So because I allowed her once, and she copied my matriculation number. I'm telling you, she copied it, and I got into trouble. So it was now when I started hearing about dyslexia. Maybe she had that problem. Her own was so bad. She left with like the lowest form of third class.
Wow.
If this person was discovered that time and someone had sat her down and said, okay, you have this problem, maybe read, look for, just like you talked about the dummies for this. Yeah. I also saw that book and I started using it for some courses. If people are able to know, okay, I have a bit of a problem, it's not that it makes me a bad person, but apparently I need to know how to learn, how to, let me put it that way, how to learn, and when to learn. How were you able to, when you discovered you had this problem, how were you able to just adjust yourself to start knowing when to read, how to read, and then what to read?
Oh, okay. Firstly, I'm still adjusting myself.
Okay.
I'm not a perfect.
Okay.
And
go ahead.
Secondly, I want us to know is ourselves. I know myself. How should I say? I don't stay. I can't stay in a particular position for a long time.
Wow.
If I'm in a particular position for a long time, that means I'm talking, or gisting, or maybe pressing my phone.
So if we hold you here more than normal, you will just go
No, I have an activity.
I want to know so that we'll know before you will let loose or not.
I have an activity I'm doing, so it's interesting.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I get. But so knowing myself has really helped me. So what I do most times is, even if I feel like reading and it's not what I'm supposed to be reading at that particular point,
It's no
I
point
will
wasting
go
time.
back. No, I'll go to another thing that
Okay.
fits that mood.
Okay.
At times it might be maybe history. Fine, I did physics, or I'm doing physics. It might be history. I won't say that, oh, I have to do physics, then I'll leave. No, I'll just go to what suits that mood at that particular point.
Okay.
Then, being between, they'll be, okay, just try and just open it a bit. If you get the first two calculations, you can stop, you go back to whatever you do. Even if it's game, there are times I game, and I have my physics textbook or my physics, what's it called, jotter behind, just writing calculations and proofs that to show maybe I remember. So that's, I time myself.
Okay.
I don't have a fixed time. There are some people, night class every time, they can't read during the day. I have friends that go on top of a tree to read. If it's not cool,
That's how it's doing there.
if it's not a cool environment, they won't be able to read.
Yeah.
You get, so it's just about knowing yourself.
Okay.
Can I ask something? So I know that dyslexia is like a condition, but we also know that certain people are not as gifted with their minds as others. So how do you differentiate between someone that is dyslexic and someone that, I don't want to use the word, not just smart, but...
You have to explain that. You want to answer it?
Okay, I think what you're trying to say is trying to differentiate between who is smart and who is not smart.
No, like, you know, dyslexia makes you like impaired while studying, like while in school.
Okay.
So, but then there are also some other people that they are not dyslexic, but they're not just suited to
Go to school.
school.
Okay.
Or maybe some people are not suited for certain courses. Like some people are not good at calculations at all.
Somebody's
It's not like
forcing
they're
them.
dyslexic.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
just how they're wired.
Okay.
How do you know that's how they are wired?
I don't know.
I think it's okay.
I don't know math. I don't
That's
know.
how you're wired.
Really?
But the thing is, once close to exam, like there's a way you just read the book
And you
And you
understand.
enter.
You
When
understand.
you are done writing the exam, you'll be like, did I write that?
Yeah,
Because you are
happened.
reading to cram. But you know the thing, I understand your question. I know a lot of these celebrities that we admire and all that, a lot of them have it. I know of one person I've read all his books and I'm always following him. The owner of this Virgin Atlantic,
Okay.
Richard Branson, he is dyslexic. His own is so bad that he can't write, even at his age.
Wow.
And he discovered it pretty early. He was running a magazine in the university when he was in the university. I mean, he writes, but it's a struggle for him to write. He makes mistakes with spellings and all that. When he discovered it was a major problem. This is someone that owned the magazine in the university. He had to structure. So he got friends that helps him. So if I'm not good at this, but I have this idea, let them be the ones to pen it down. So he would detect it and then they pen it down. So I feel, just like you said, you know your strength, know how to, and then be very strategic about it. Tom Cruise is dyslexic. If I mention there are plenty, yes, exactly. A lot of the people that we celebrate, they are. So, and that's one thing I was also going to bring out. I said I was going to ask you. Does it make you creative?
Yes.
That's one thing I've, doing this research, that's one thing I've discovered. A lot of the people that have this, if our parents that are watching, if you have a child that is struggling in school, with academics, find out something that they are good at. You talked about doing music and, playing, and then you went under the rain and you were, maybe that child is wired to do business. That child is wired to do something, so if the person is not, just like, if the person is not smart, what the school smart, that person can be street smart, but I encourage people go to school, no matter just go have that certificate, and then let them channel their energy into doing, this. So you need to first of all help that child to discover their strength. So there's no dummy. That's the truth.
When I was P-level student, I was able to do a lot of things, like my modeling. That was when it all started. My acting too. That was when it all started.
So you act, you model?
I act, I model.
Okay.
And I write too, but I'm not yet 100% confident of myself in that aspect, so I do it in my closet. So it has really widened my scope, and I know a lot of things out of science. Before it was just being analytical, just do, I won't call it rubbish, but it's still rubbish to me. So it has helped me widen my
Some
scope.
of us don't know that rubbish.
It has helped me widen my scope. And it's not that being that dyslexic is you're dumb. Again, someone who is dumb in all things. It's just that you don't know how to read and write doesn't mean you don't know how to use your hands.
Absolutely. Did you hear that?
Doesn't mean you don't know how to use your brain.
If you can't read and write, you can use your hand, you can use your brain.
You get. So like Branson, they are used as an example. He couldn't write well. Like Sylvester Stallone, his teacher in high school insulted him that you're nothing. But even in acting, he said after that, he doesn't do much lines. He just said like maybe 1 or 2 lines in his movies, and he goes to the action part. And now Sylvester Stallone is like one martial artist.
Exactly.
He's even more popular than his teacher.
True.
Even his martial art teacher, you get. So it's not that you can't do something. You just have to channel your energy somewhere else. And actually, that will help you read and write to develop you there.
Okay. So, but have you guys learned anything from what you studied? What were the instances you saw? Or have you seen friends that both of you are laughing? Because you did tests. You try to know who amongst you have
But
it.
just both of them. That have
You don't have it.
very
I
nice.
didn't take the test.
We'll go on a short break. When we come back, we'll continue with the show. Don't go nowhere. Welcome back. This is still Teens Time. We have been talking about dyslexia. I hope I got it right.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Dyslexia. And I know you've learned a lot, so we're going to round off.
The key to it is early detection, because most disorders actually that have to do with the brain are very easy to correct when the child is young. But the moment you start getting older, like it becomes really hard. So parents that have like infants should try to monitor their infants very well. Even there are a lot of disorders that could like creep in, and then you just feel like, oh, it's just being a child. Notice your children, and then when you detect anything strange, contact professionals. Don't try and seek advice from mothers or women around or spiritual mothers or whatever. They will just.
But it's not a bad thing to seek spiritual.
It's not bad.
Advice.
It's not bad, but I feel like a lot of conditions that are easily treated medically, we tend to like spiritualize everything in Africa. So, like.
I hope your mother is not watching. Say this boy, you need laying of hands.
So please, early detection is key, and it could. And even for people that already have it and are adults, it's not the end of the world. I mean, there are lots of therapies, a lot of processes that could help with it too. So just do your research. The internet is like a whole world of knowledge.
Yeah.
So basically,
Thank you, Deji.
Yes.
Thank you, Deji. So Deji said almost everything I wanted to say, but I mean, if you notice that you have something like this, just take it slow and calm down. Just be calm about it. And
it's not brain tumor.
Exactly. It's not cancer.
It's not cancer.
So, I mean, you might not know, dear, like, I'm the only one here that doesn't
Shut
have
up!
Oh,
man, she's casting us.
I'm going to send it.
I'm going
Okay, my advice is, apart from early detection, you should also learn to accept it. Accept yourself. Because the moment you accept yourself, you'll be able to work on yourself and be better. That's my advice.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay, what I would say is, firstly, I'm not going against religion, but it might be spiritual, but it's something you can treat in the physical realm. And secondly, as she said, accept yourself. When you discover you have something like that, accept it and take your time. Apart from your parents helping you, you too, you can help yourself, or you should help yourself. So take your time, go to your closet, and try to, analyze yourself, what you can do, what you cannot do, then focus on what you can do. What you can't do, leave that for God.
Thank you so much. You guys have been amazing. I would say, like, we joked about, but it's serious. It is not a brain tumor. It's not that you have, like, something that you're going to open your brain to try and fix. It's actually something you can work on. It's something I mean, you can just realize that, okay, I'm struggling with reading and writing, just like Richard Branson. You can find someone to do the writing for you. And you read and you tell them, please, can you write it down? I mean, Richard Branson has one of the biggest businesses, chains of businesses. So If these people have succeeded in their own sphere of influence, they are doing so much for themselves, that means you can become anything you put your mind to. You just have to even dream about it, think about it, and like they said, if you can think it, you can be it.
Yeah.
Let me put it that way. So don't believe you are a dummy. Don't believe you are not intelligent. Don't believe anything like the olodo that they normally parents will always call. Don't believe you are that. Find who you are. Find your strength. Find what you are good at and focus on that and be the best you can be at that. Martin Luther King said something, even if you are a janitor or whatever you find yourself to do, be the best of it. So find what you can do and be the best you can be. Until we come your way next time, this is Tin's Time. Keep watching. Bye.